Hello everyone, welcome to another video on object-oriented programming using C++. In this video, we are going to look at two more features of C++. One of them is the this constant keyword, and the other is the final specifier. Now, the similarity between both of them, there is not much similarity, but the similarity is that both of them restrict the user from doing certain tasks. So what are these tasks? We will soon see with code example. This is going to be a programming class where we are going to write a few program to understand these things, and then later on in a different class we are going to use pen and paper theory to discuss this in more details. So without further ado, let us begin by looking at the first of these two things that we are going to see. So I am going to write a program, and I am going to start by including IOStream. Then I am going to bring the namespace std into my scope. Alright, now the first of these things that we are going to discuss is the final specifier. I am saying specifier, I am not using the word keyword. Alright, final is not a keyword, and I am going to prove that using this int, the data type int. So when we had declare a variable as int, we mean that the variable will hold a integer. Float is a data type. It indicates that the variable that I declare as float is going to hold a floating point number as in its place, right? It is going to point to a floating point number. Now both int and float are keywords. Therefore, if I try to say that I am going to name a variable float, alright, and I am going to give it some number 10. So I am trying to declare a variable called float, a integer variable called float, and I am going to go ahead and try to print this variable. Alright, and I return from this program. Okay, this is something that I am trying to do. Alright, let me go ahead and try to do this. Let me try to compile and run the program. I cannot do this. Why cannot I do this? Because the name of the variable, I am trying to set the name of the variable to float, but float is a keyword. Therefore, I cannot have float as the name of my variable. I cannot use these keywords that are declared that are there in C++ as name of variable. I cannot declare for as the name of my variable. For is a keyword. Alright, so I cannot do that. Okay, but final, this specifier that I am going to see, final is not a keyword. Alright, so I can use final as a variable name. It is not a keyword. This is something that was introduced in C C++11. Alright, so before 2011, all the compilers, if you use those kind of compilers, the things that we are going to do using this final specifier cannot be done using those old compilers. So whatever we are going to do, you have to download a compiler that was designed to follow the specification of C++ that was released in 2011, C11 or C++11. Alright, and yeah, most of the modern compiler, if you go ahead and download a compiler today, then everything that we are going to discuss is relevant. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a class. Let me call it parent class. Alright, and this parent class is going to have a method. Say this is a public method. Alright, and I'm calling it print, and I'm simply going to print something, say hi from parent. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another class, and this is a child class, and this class is going to inherit from the parent class. Alright, so let us go ahead and do that. And in this class I'm going to create another method called say hello, say, okay, and this is going to say hello from child. All right. So this is inheritance. You know all of these things, and let me go ahead and create an object of the child class. So this is the object of the child class, and I can call print, and I can call say. All right. So these are things that I can do. Let me do one more thing. Let me put new line at the end of the strings that these methods are going to print. All right. So yeah, this is what it is. Let me go ahead and compile this, and I will see that my main program is going to first call this print method, and then it is going to call the say method. So I notice my child class is going to have both of these methods. I am not explicitly creating this print method in my child class, but then the method is inherited from the parent class, right? Because of inheritance, everything that is there in my parent class is inherited by the child class, right? Is there in my child class because of inheritance. All right. Now there is one more thing that I can do. Say I do not want this say method. I have this print method. I am declaring this print method again in my child class as well. All right. Now say method does not exist anymore. So let me remove this line. Okay. Now what is going to happen when I call this print method? All right. Now when I call this print method, I am going to print hi from child. So this is also something that we have already discussed. This is known as function overriding, right? So I had this print method in my parent class that was inherited by the child class, and what did I do in the child class? I removed that method that was inherited by child class, and instead I write a new method on top of that, right? So this print method that I have declared in my child class is the one that overrides the print method that it inherits from the parent class. This is function overriding. You already know this. Now I can do one thing. I can have a I can have a parent class pointer pointing to a child class object. So this is possible. We already discussed this. And when I use this parent class pointer to call this function, of course I will not be writing a dot. Instead I will be writing an arrow since now it's a pointer. So when I use this parent class pointer to point to child class object, that is possible. Parent class pointer can point to a child class object, and I am using this pointer to call the method of the parent class. So when I compile and execute this, something that I don't want is happening, right? The method that is there in my parent class, that is being executed, although the object that I am using is an object of the child class. So I would expect that the child class print would be executed, right? But that is not happening. The parent class print is executing. So this is bad. What do I do to resolve this? I use this virtual keyword, right? So yeah, I can write virtual here. Let me write virtual before. So now I have made this print method virtual. All right. And now if I go ahead and compile, now what will happen is this method from child class will be executed. All right. This is function overriding. Now say when when creating this parent class, I have decided that my print method should not be overridden by my child. All right. So there is going to be this child class that inherits from the parent class, and when creating this parent class, I have decided that I am not going to allow the classes that derives from me to override this print method. Okay. So the print method that I have created in the parent class is the final print method. There is no longer going to be any more print method down the hierarchy of inheritance, right? No other class that inherits from me is going to have the permission to override the print method. I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do is after what I have written, I am simply going to write final. All right. Now let me go ahead and try to compile. Okay, I am compiling and I see an error. What is the error? That I am trying to, this virtual function print is final, all right, and I am trying to overwrite the final function. So yeah, that is what it is. I cannot overwrite a final function. The method print in parent is final. That means there cannot be any more version of the print method down the line. All right, so this is what I have. This is one use of final. Now final works with virtual functions. If I remove this virtual, all right, then I will have a different error, in that this print method is marked as final, but it is not virtual. So yeah, this is what it is. If I need a method of a class to be final, then first I have to make that method virtual, all right, and then I use this final keyword. Now what will happen if I make a method final? If I make a method final, then a class that inherits from my class, this class where I have made this method final, all right, in that class, in that derived class, all right, this method that I made final cannot be overridden. For example, here I had made this virtual print. This print method was made final by me. Now if I try to compile, I will get the error that I am trying to override a final method, all right, and that is something that I cannot do. I cannot override a final method. All right, this is use one of final. All right, I hope this makes sense. There is nothing very out of ordinary over here. All right, and what I am doing is main function does not even matter. All right, I can have a child class pointer pointing to a child class object. The error is still going to say be there. All right, the error is over here. So main what I'm doing in main does not really matter. Or I can have instead of a pointer in heap memory, I can create this object in stack memory, and the problem is still going to say. So what I'm doing anywhere else does not matter. When I am talking about this final, talking about making this method final, what I mean is that any class that inherits from this class cannot override this method. All right, so this is use one of final. Let us go ahead and look at the other use of final. All right, so I want to make this parent final. So if I make this parent final, I write final after this prototype, class parent and then final, and let us see what happens when I do this. All right, when I do this, it gives me an error. It says cannot derive from final base parent in derived class child. All right, what does this mean? This means that I cannot create this derived class child from this parent class. I cannot inherit from parent class. It means that when I make a class final, I cannot inherit from that class, right? So for example, here I made this class parent as final, therefore that is the final class in this hierarchy of inheritance. There cannot be any more class that inherits from this class. This parent class is made final, therefore the child class cannot inherit from parent class. All right, so this is what final means. Okay, now there is final in Java as well. In Java, final is a keyword, but here we have seen final is not a keyword. Therefore I can make a variable name final. Okay, that works. So this is what it is. Okay, this is all about final. There is nothing much more to do with final. Okay, all right, so this is the final keyword. Next, let us go ahead and look at another keyword, and you might already know a lot about this keyword when you were studying C in your first year. So this is the const keyword. So say I am making a integer I constant. Alright, this is how I make a integer I constant, and let me go ahead and print the value of I. Now let me compile this program. If I compile and run this program, I am going to print the value of I, and that is what I have done. Alright, now let me try to modify I. Alright, I have declared I as constant. Let me try to modify I. I am incrementing the value of I. Let me try to compile. I get an error. It says that I am trying to increment the read-only variable I. Read-only means I can only read this I. I cannot write to this I cannot update the value of I. Alright. So this is what it is. Now let me try to do one more thing. I am writing I equal to 20. Alright. So let me try to compile, and I get the error that I am trying to assign something to the read-only variable I. So this is what it is. I cannot update the value of I cannot update it in any way. I cannot increment, I cannot assign any other value to this. So once I declare I, alright, so I have declared I in line number 4. Once I have declared I to be some value, throughout the lifetime of the program, I is going to hold that value. Alright, so this is what it is. Let me now declare another constant variable, and this is a j, and this is equal to I plus say 10. Is this legal? So this should be legal, right? Because I am not updating the value of I over here. Alright, so I am assigning some value to j, and then once that value of j is assigned, throughout the lifetime of my program, this value of j is not going to change. Alright, and what is the value of j? Value of j is I plus 10. What am I doing here with I? I am reading the value of I. Am I writing or updating the value of I? No. This is fine. I can read. Always I can read the value of I. Alright, but I cannot update the value of I. Now j is set to, let us see, j should be set to 20, and j is set to 20. Alright, this program executes properly and everything is fine. Now let me try to update the value of j. Say j equal to j plus 20. Okay, so this is going to give me an error. I am trying to assign something to j. Say I update j equal to 30. Let me go ahead and do that. I cannot do that. I cannot update the value of j. Let me try to increment. I cannot do that as well. Alright, so once I have assigned some value to j, I can no longer change the value. Alright, so this is a constant data type. So there might be times where you will need constant data type. Say you are creating a mathematics library where you are you have this global variable pi. Okay, pi is equal to 3.1415 something. So you are writing that value. Now you don't want anyone to have the ability to change the value of pi. Pi is a constant, so there is no point in changing the value of pi. Alright, so it makes better sense that you make it a constant. Alright, do not allow anyone to change the value of pi. What if by mistake someone changes it? Alright, then you will have lots of error down the line. So make it a constant. Alright, do not allow anyone to change the value of pi. Alright, next let us do one thing. Okay, so this is what it is. Next, let me create a constant pointer. Now constant pointer, there are two different concepts over here. Okay, one thing is this: I have some variable I and I have this variable j. Alright, and I will make a pointer, and this is going to be constant integer pointer, and say this is p underscore 1. Okay, pointer 1, say ptr1. Alright, and this is holding the address of I. Alright, and there is an alternative way to declare this. I write the integer first and then I write constant pointer, and this can be ptr. Alright, no need to write ptr. This is also ptr, and say this also holds the address of I. Alright, this is another syntax to write the same thing. We are meaning the same thing. Now let me do one thing. Let me print out the value that this pointer holds. So yeah, let me go ahead and compile and run this program. Okay, when I run this program, this is a pointer that is pointing to some integer I. Alright, and then I have declared that the pointer is a constant. Therefore, what I can do is I did not declare as constant. Alright, therefore I can use update I. Say I have written I equal to 10 over here. Then using this pointer I have printed the value of I, which was 10, so this is fine. Then I have updated I to 20, and let me use this pointer to update the value, to print the value of whatever this pointer is pointing to. So this pointer is pointing to this integer I. Alright, so let me go ahead and print this, execute this. Yeah, this is fine. I is updated to 20. So when I use this pointer to print again the value of I, now I get the updated value. I am printing the updated value 20. Alright, all these are fine. Alright, so what's the deal? So how does this making this pointer constant, what is the advantage of that? Alright, this is the advantage. Say I try to update the value of this pointer. This pointer is pointing to I, and now I am trying to use this pointer to update the value of this integer. Alright, so I am trying to update the value of I using the pointer. Now this I cannot do. Alright, so pointer, the location, the value that the pointer is pointing to, alright, that value, when I try to access that value through this pointer, at that time I see that this location is a constant. Alright, so using this pointer, this address that the pointer is pointing to is a constant. So I cannot use the pointer to update the value at that address. Alright, although I can use I, that's not a big deal. Now if I make this const, then what will happen? I cannot even use I anymore. Alright, I cannot use I to update as well. So I is a constant. If I try to do this, then I will get error again that I am trying to update the value of I. Now I cannot update using this pointer as well. Alright, if I try to update the value of 20 using this pointer, I will get an error. Alright, I will anyway get an error because I is constant, but if I make I normal, not a constant, even then I cannot update the value over here. Alright, so what is the thing that I am talking about? This pointer is pointing to some address, right? The PTR is a pointer that is pointing to some address. Now using this pointer, I cannot write to that address. I cannot update the value of that address. Alright, I cannot do all those kind of things. I can of course read. I am reading in line number 10, I am reading in line number 14. I am reading the value of pointer and printing it that out to the standard output. Alright, so this is something that is possible. Okay, now what I am going to do next is this. Although the address that the pointer is pointing to, although I cannot update the value at that address, what I can do is I can update what location the pointer is pointing to. So let me go ahead and do that. Alright, so pointer was pointing to I. Alright, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to make this pointer point to J. Alright, so in this line pointer is pointing to this variable I, and in this line pointer is pointing to the variable J. So let me go ahead and compile and run this program. I am going to see that this is something that I can do in this line, when pointer was pointing to I and I printed the value that pointer this location had, that pointer was pointing to some location, the location of I. What is the value that was stored in that location? 10. Alright, so when I try to access the value of pointer, I get 10, and then what I am doing, I have updated pointer to point to the location of j. So what is the value at j? J is I plus 10. There I had 10, so j would be 20. Alright, so now when I try to access the value of this pointer, I get 20. Alright, so this is what it is. Now, thing to observe here, yes, using this pointer when I try to update something. So let me try to update. Once I have given a new address to this pointer, let me try to update the value. Say there was 20 before, I am trying to give it 30. Okay, using this pointer, alright, when I try to update the value at that location that the pointer is pointing to, I will get an error. Alright, this is what is happening. I will get an error. Alright, but the pointer itself is not a constant. So the pointer was pointing to one location, and at some other point of time it is now pointing at some other location. Alright, so the address to which the pointer is pointing to, that is changing here. Alright, I hope you can observe that. I was pointing to the address of I, then I started pointing to the address of j. Alright, so that is legal, that is not a problem. But what is the problem? If I use this pointer, whatever address be it pointing to, alright, be it the address of I, be it the address of j, if I use this pointer to update the value at that address, then there would be a problem. Alright, so that is something I cannot do. Using this pointer, that address, alright, the value at that address that the pointer holds, the address that the pointer is pointing to, that address looks like a constant. Alright, so this is one more aspect of using constant. Now let me do one thing. Let me change the syntax a little bit. Alright, now constant, you see in both these syntaxes, let me use this syntax. Once again I am going to have the same thing. Let me do this instead of the previous syntax. I am now using the second syntax, and these two lines, both of them are the same. Alright, just different way of writing that. And in both of them you will see this keyword constant is to the left of the star. Alright, now I am going to do something. I am going to let me go ahead and use this. I am going to put this constant keyword to the right of this star. Alright, so this is this is the star that I was talking about. Alright, now the constant was on the left, now I have put constant to the right of the star. Alright, and now it is pointing to some address. Let me run the program. It was running properly before. Now when I run this program, what is this program? In this line I am pointing to the location of I, then I am printing the value, and in this line I am updating the address that the pointer is pointing to, right? It was pointing to the address of I, now it is pointing to the address of j. This is something that I cannot do. Alright, now the pointer's address is a constant. Previously the pointer's value was a constant. So previously what was happening? Previously I could not change the value at the place that the pointer was pointing to, but I could change what the pointer is pointing to. I was pointing to the address of I, then I started pointing to the address of j. Alright, so that was legal before. Now this is no longer legal. Okay, once I point to some address, I cannot change the address. So in line number 7 I am pointing to the address of I. So once I have started pointing to the address of I cannot change the address. Alright, so this is what this minor change in my syntax in this declaration makes. Alright, by bringing this keyword constant from the left of the star to the right of the star, what I have done is I can no longer change the address that the pointer is pointing to. Alright, previously that was possible. Now is this possible? can I use this pointer to update the value that the pointer is pointing to? So let us go ahead and do that. And yeah, this is completely fine. Alright, previously I was this pointer was pointing to the address of I. This I had a value of 10. Alright, so when I printed the value that the address is pointing to, I got 10. Alright, and then I updated the value to 30, and when I printed the value again, I got 30. Alright, so this is something that I can do now. Okay, what can I do now? I am pointing to some address. Alright, now I cannot change the address, but I can change the value at that address. Previously, what was happening? I could not change the value at that address, but I could change the address. Alright, I hope you get the difference. Previously, could change address, could not change value. Now, cannot change address, but can change value. Alright, so this is the difference that bringing the const from the left of the star to the right of the star makes. Alright, so this is what it is. Next, let me do one thing. Say I want to do this. Alright, I do not want the address to change, this pointer's address to change, like now. Now cannot change the address. Alright, as well as like before, I do not want the value to change. Alright, so this is what I am going to do. So now I have this keyword const to the left of the star as well as to the right of the star. Right, so now I can neither change value. Here I am trying to change the value, so let me try to change the value. I get an error, and as well as if I try to change the address, alright, still I will get an error. Alright, so now I can neither change the address nor can I change the value. Okay, so this is what it is. This is how const works with pointer. Alright, and there are two different aspects in this. I hope this makes sense. First, I cannot before when I was writing this const to the left of star, then I could not change the value that the pointer was pointing to, but I could change address. Then when I wrote the const to the right of the star. Okay, previously I wrote to the left of the star. At that time I could not change value, but I could change address. Then when I had to the right of the star, then I could change value, but I could not change the address. Previously I changed address, could not change value. Now I could change value and could not change address. And then when I wrote const both to the left and right, then I could neither change value nor change address. Alright, so this is what it is. Alright, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the use of const in relation to function. Alright, so I'm going to create a function square. Alright, and this function is going to take a parameter in say I, not a problem, and I'm going to return I times I. So this is going to give me the square of I. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say int j is equal to square of I. Alright, and then I'm going to print j. Okay, this is fine. This is a very simple program, and let me go ahead and compile this program. Okay, fine. I have passed 10. I has the value 10, so I have passed 10 to the square function. I get 10 into 10 is 100, so I square is 100, 10 square is 100, so everything is fine. Alright, now I am going to make one small change. I am going to write this as const, this parameter as const. Alright, now let me go ahead and compile. Everything is happening as before. There is not going to be any change. Now let me try to do something else inside my function. I am going to say I equal to, alright, say 20. Now I am trying to modify the value of I inside this function. So let me go ahead and compile. Okay, now I have a problem. All right. So I am trying to update the value of I over here. Now this parameter I have declared as a constant. All right. So although I am passing this argument, this I as my argument, all right, over here, which is not a constant, but inside this function it will be treated like a constant. All right. Since I is being treated like a constant, I cannot update the value of I inside this function. Okay. So this is what making a parameter constant means. Now let me do one thing. Let me make I not a constant. All right, and everything should happen work like before. This is not a problem, we saw this in the very beginning. And let me do one thing. Let me try to pass a constant integer to this parameter. All right, so let me go ahead and do this. Okay, this also works properly. Now let me try to have a integer. Hold on. Okay, let me try to have a pointer. All right, and this is also a pointer. Okay. Now what I will do is I will get the value into the value of I. Alright, I hope this makes sense. I am getting the value that this pointer has into the value of this. I cannot have I equal to that. I will have I equal to x, say 10. Alright, and then I will hold the value of x, the address of x. Alright, so this is what I have. This is now a different function. In this function, what am I taking as a parameter? I am taking some address. So I am doing call by reference. Alright, and then what am I passing as parameter to this function? I am passing this pointer I. Okay, I is a pointer, that is not a problem, and I holds this value of x. So I holds the value of x, this is also fine. So I is a pointer, I holds the value 10. I holds the address of x, sorry, not the value of x. I holds the address of x, and what is the value at that address? The value at that address is 10. Alright, so I pass the address, the pointer I, which holds the value of x, and that is what is passed as parameter over here. I receive that. I try to get the value that the address contains. The address contains the value 10. So I do 10 into 10, and that gives me 100. So I am returning 100. I store that in J, and I print that, and I get that. Right? I am printing 100 to my output. Now let me do one thing. This is a integer pointer, right? This is not a constant. Now let me make this constant. Okay, and let me try to compile this program. Okay, it compiles properly. That should not be. Okay, this is fine. Sorry, I made a mistake. Let me have this as it was. Let me make this constant. Okay. Now see, I am expecting some pointer here, and I do not know whether inside this square function I am going to modify this I or not. Alright, so I could very well modify this I, right? And this is not a local variable. This is not called by value. This is called by reference. Therefore, whatever changes I make to this pointer, okay, this pointer is pointing to some address. If I make some change at that address, then in reality that is going to change. Alright, so this is not like call by value. So if I call update something, say I was calling by value, if I this I was the parameter that was called by value, then if I update I, then it would just change a local copy of I inside the function. So the global copy of I or the copy of I in my main function would stay as it is. But that is not happening here. Here I am passing a pointer, and whatever change I make to I, the address that I is pointing to, whatever change I make at that address is going to stay once I return from the program. Okay, that's change would be permanent. Now see, I am passing a integer. I am expecting a integer over here. This is not a constant integer, so I am not expecting a constant pointer. All right, so I could very well make a change inside my function, right? I can do this. I can set I, the value at I, equal to, say, I into 2. All right, so the value of I am changing to the double of what it was. All right, so this is something that I do, and this is something that I can do. All right, I can change the value using this pointer. All right, because inside my function I did not make this I am not expecting a constant. All right, but then what I am doing when passing the argument, I am trying to pass a constant pointer. All right, what does passing a constant pointer mean? It means I am trying to pass some pointer through which I cannot change value. All right, so when I try to compile this, I am going to get an error. All right, why does this error exist? Because my function takes a normal pointer, is expecting a normal pointer that it can change if it wants to, but I am passing a constant pointer whose value cannot be changed. The address that this pointer is pointing to, that I pass as parameter, I cannot use this pointer to change the value at the location that this pointer is pointing to. All right, so there is this confusion. I am passing a constant pointer, I am expecting a normal pointer. All right, so this is something that I cannot do. All right, now if I make this constant, then at least the passing of the parameter, that problem goes away. All right, so let me see. Yeah, that problem goes away, but now I cannot update the value using this pointer. All right, so let me go ahead and compile this, and now everything is fine. All right, I hope this makes sense what is happening here. Okay, say I want a normal pointer and I'm passing a constant pointer. Okay, so if I want a normal pointer, what does that mean? I will have the permission to update that. All right, and if I have a constant pointer, what does that mean? That means I cannot update using that constant pointer. All right, now if I pass this constant pointer, all right, to this place where a normal pointer is expected, so what am I doing? I am passing a pointer, all right, that cannot be updated to this place where updating the pointer is expected. All right, so that is something that I cannot do. All right, so this is what it is. Now if I say I am expecting a constant pointer and I pass a normal pointer, all right, this is legal, this is not a problem. So in this function I am saying that I want a constant pointer. That means inside this function I am not going to change the value at the location that this pointer is pointing to. All right, and I am passing a pointer using which I can change. All right, so I can change, but inside this function I am choosing not to change. So this is not a problem. All right, I hope you understand why this is not a problem and why removing the constant from here and putting it here would be a problem. All right, so the problem right now is that I am giving something to you, all right, that say I have a very important notebook, okay, a very special notebook that someone gave me on my birthday, and I do not want to dirty the notebook, okay, and then you want a notebook, okay, you want to write something on the notebook. Now this is a notebook that is precious to me. I do not want anyone to write on this notebook. But you want a notebook because you want to write. Okay, you did not bring a notebook to class, so you want a notebook where you can write. Now if I give you my notebook on which I do not want anyone to write, to you, a person who wants to write, who wants a notebook to write to, all right, then there is going to be some clash, right? This notebook that I am giving you, I do not want anyone to write on that, but you want a notebook and you want to write on that, so there is this clash, all right, discrepancy in what you want to do and what I want to do, all right. So this is exactly what is happening over here. I have this pointer that I do not want anyone to change the value of, and I am taking this pointer that I want to change the value of. So if I pass this pointer that I do not want anyone to change the value of, all right, and this over here, then there is going to be a problem, all right. I hope you can see that. Now let us look at this other situation. Here what is happening is I have a notebook that I don't care if people write on this notebook or not. Okay, so you read from this notebook, you write from this notebook, I don't care. And you want a notebook, you just want to read from that notebook. Say it's my class notes, all right, my rough class notes, and I don't care if you write on that notes, you write or you read from that note, whatever you do, all right, and you just want to read from that notebook. Okay, so now if I give you my notebook, say I don't care, this pointer that I'm passing right now, you can update using this pointer and you cannot update using this pointer, I don't care. So I'm passing this pointer, but what you have decided is that you will not write on this using this pointer, you will simply read, all right. So that is not a problem right now, right? So I hope you can see this, I hope this makes sense. All right, next is so this is something that is very similar. This is from C, all right, up to this point. Let us go to object oriented and use const in object oriented. So let me create a class, and this class is going to be, say, my class, all right, and here I have data attribute const integer I, all right, and then I have a public constructor, my class, and this is going to take say x, okay, just to remove the confusion. And then what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set I equal to x, all right. This would be problematic, but let us see if we can do that. So yeah, I will create an object of my class and then I will return. Okay, nothing to do right now, I will do something a bit later. Okay, and this takes a parameter, right? So I am passing 10 as the parameter. Okay, yeah, so this is what I have. Now let me try to compile this. Okay, I cannot do this, I cannot write to this I, okay, but I have created this constant. Okay, I want to initialize it. Okay, at the very beginning when I start using this object, I am going to initialize this I, all right, and once I initialize this I, then I no longer want to change it. So one time, only once I want to set its value, and then once that is done, I no longer want to do anything with that. Okay, I do not want to do any changes to that. I would read that, but I don't want to write or update that. Fine. Now how to do that? Okay, I am going to use something called initializer list. What I will do is I will write I will hold the value of x, all right. This is where I am going to update, not here. I was trying to update here, this gave me an error, so this is something I cannot do, but I can do this. This is initializer list. Alright, you have already seen initializer list when we were trying to call the constructor of the parent class from the child class. Alright, if there is no default constructor, if there is no constructor in my parent class that does not take any parameter, this, if you remember, is how we called the constructor of our parent class by passing parameter. Alright, now this is called initializer list, and this is how I can write the value of I once. When my constructor is called, at that time I am going to initialize the value of I and nothing more. So I am going to write here constructor called. Alright, now I am going to have another public function. This is get, get is enough, and that is going to return the value of I. Alright, and here I am going to have a cout, and I am going to do m.get and a new line. So let me go ahead and try to compile. Yes, I have to put a semicolon over here. Try to compile this program. Okay, when I compile this program, okay, let me put a new line over here as well. So when I compile this program, alright, first the constructor will be called. When I create the object in line number 16, I am trying to create the object. At the time the constructor is going to be called. And what is happening when the constructor is called? Using this initializer list, I am initializing the value of this constant integer I. Alright, now yes, I have done that. And then when I call this get method, I am reading the value of I. This is not a problem. I can always read the value of a constant variable. I cannot write the value of a constant variable, so this is fine. Alright, next let me do one thing. Let me write another method. This is void and this is set. Okay, so set will take some integer, say x, and I am trying to set the value of I to x. Can I do this? Okay, I cannot do this. I cannot have this method called set. Alright, so I cannot update, I cannot call this set method that will update the value of I. Alright, so why cannot I do that? Because I is constant. Alright, so that should be very clear to you by now, that I cannot update the value of a constant variable, and this is what I have. Alright, now let me do one thing. Instead of making this private, I am going to make this public, because I want to try to access this from what's the problem? Okay, there is no problem. Yeah, this Visual Studio has the habit of underlining code as if there is error even when there is no error. Alright, so now let me try to do one thing. Instead of writing m.get, I will directly access I. So this is possible. Alright, I is public. I can read I from main now. Alright, so I am reading the value of I has the value 10. I had said that when I call the constructor, I pass the value 10, and using this initializer list, I had set I, initialized I to x had the value of 10. Alright, now let me try to set the value of I, and let me go ahead and compile. Okay, this is an error. I is still public, I can access that, but what is the problem? I is read only. Alright, so I is constant, so I cannot update the value of I. So I is constant, this is what it is. Alright, so yeah, this is what I have. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare, I'm not going to make this constant. Alright, so let this be as it is, and still this is going to work. Okay, I can still use initializer list to initialize I. Alright, and everything should happen like before. Let me go ahead and compile. Yes, everything has happened like before. Now let me try to update I. I is no longer a constant. All right. So now if I call this, okay, I have updated the value of I is no longer constant. Now let me do one thing. Let me make this object a constant. All right. Now that I have made the object a constant, I can no longer update I. All right. Although I is no longer constant, but the object itself is constant, therefore I can no longer change anything in this object. All right. Now let me remove the constant for a little bit more. And what I am going to do is I am going to have a method called set. All right. And that is going to take some integer x, and it is going to set I to x. All right. So yeah, nothing confusing over here. So what do? I can write get instead of trying to directly. I'm trying to directly access I, or I can write get. All right. Both of them are doing the same thing. Let me go ahead and compile. Okay, everything is fine. I am getting the value of I, and that is equal to 10. I am printing that, and then I update the value of I to 20. I have updated the value of I to 20, and when I print I get 20. So instead of I can write get. All right, and instead of writing this line m dot I equal to 20, instead of doing this, let me execute this once because I have made some change. Compile and execute. All right. Now instead of setting m dot I equal to 20, I am going to write m dot set 20, and that is how I am calling this method that is going to update the value of I. All right. So this is what I have. Now let me compile and run again, and again I am going to have the same thing, because instead of doing this m dot I directly, I am instead of reading the m dot I directly or by updating through m dot I am just using this get and send method, right? I am essentially doing the same thing but through some function. All right. So no change in my output was expected, and there is no change in my output. Now let me do one thing. Let me make this object constant. All right, and let me execute this. Okay, now I have a problem. Okay, now what is the problem? I cannot call set anymore. Okay, I cannot update the value of I. I cannot call this method because this method might change the value of I. All right, so this is what I have. Once I declare something as constant, I can no longer call those methods. All right. Now, once I declare some object as constant, I can no longer call these methods. Why cannot I call these methods? Because this method might change the object inside it. Okay, it might change the attribute that are in the object. That is something that it can do. Okay, so let me do something. Let me tell the compiler that this get method is not going to change my data. All right, so how do I do that? I write const after the name of the function. All right, so now let me go ahead and compile, and now everything is happening properly. Okay, so what does writing this const after the name of the function mean? It means that this function is not going to change my data attributes. All right, so that is what it means. And now this constant object, I can call this method of the constant object, and my compiler knows, yeah, the object is constant, I cannot change the object, and I am calling a method that is not going to change anything in this object. Why does that compiler know that this method will not change anything in the object? Because this const keyword is right there next to the object name. Alright, so if I try to change something in my object, say I am trying to set I equal to I into 2. Alright, now I had said that I cannot change, I am not going to change any data attribute inside this function. What am I doing here? I am changing. Alright, so I lied. Now if I lie, my compiler is gonna get hurt. So I should not lie to my compiler. Alright, I get an error. So error says I am trying to assign something to my read-only. Alright, read-only object. So I cannot do this. I cannot have this line. Alright. So if I say I am not going to change anything in this object, how do I say that? By writing this const keyword. If I say I am not going to change in this method, I am not going to change anything of the object, then I should not change anything of the object. Right? So right now I am not changing anything. I am simply reading this I and I am returning that. So this is fine. Alright. Now set I cannot declare as constant for obvious reason. I am trying to change the value of I inside set. So here I have a constant object. That means this object I cannot change the object. Alright, the data attribute of this object. Now if I try to call this set method, alright, what is going to happen? I am going to call get an error. Alright, so I am going to get an error because I am trying to modify this set object. Okay, and all these problems will go away if I don't make my object a constant. Alright, so this is what it is. Now, okay. Fine. So I hope all this makes sense. The use of const makes sense. Alright. So yeah. Now say I make this const. Okay, if I make this const, then of course I cannot set the value of I. Alright, I'm going to have problems over here. So let me comment this out. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make I const. Alright, and I'm going to have another variable into j. Alright, and then in my constructor I'm going to take another parameter x and y. I'm going to set I to x and I'm going to set j to y. Alright. So this is something that I do, or I no longer need to use this. Okay, I no longer need to use initializer list because they are not constant anymore. Okay, but just to make the class more confusing, I am going to keep on using initializer list. Alright. Yeah, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to make set a const as well. Alright, and if I make set, now I have to pass two parameters, right? 10 and 20. My constructor expects two parameters x and y, so I'm passing two parameters. Alright, and in get I am going to return I into j. Alright. So I should return, I have passed 10 in and 20, I should get 10 in 10 and 20, I should get 10 into 20, that is 200. So get should return me 200, and let me comment this out at this moment. I'm going to call this, I should get 200 and 200. Alright, so my constructor was called, I assigned I to x. So x was assigned a value of 10, j was assigned y had 20, so j was assigned a value of 20. So when I call get, I get 10 into 20, and therefore I am printing 200, and then I call get here again and I am printing 200 again. Alright, now let me take two parameters in set. Okay, let me keep it as one parameter. Let me do one thing. Let me try to set the value of I equal to x. All right. uh, okay, I have an error. I did not even call this function, but still I have an error. Let me call this function as well. I will still have the same error. All right, what is the error? I am trying to set, I am saying this method set is const. All right, that means inside this method I am not going to make any change to my object. All right, but what am I doing? I am making changes to my object. All right, I am changing the value of I inside this set function. So this is something that I cannot do, therefore I have this error. Now in the same way I cannot set the value of j. All right, if I call this, yeah, I'm going to get the same error. J, I'm trying to set the value, change the value of some data attribute of the object. I'm trying to change the object inside this method. I said I will not change any value inside this method. I said that when I wrote this keyword const. All right, so this is what it is. But then there is something that I can do. All right, now say I write mutable in front of j. All right, and then I call this method. Okay, j I had initially set to 20, right? So let me change. I will now try to set to 30. Okay, I call this again. Now see something. Previously when I called the get method, I had set I equal to 10, j equal to 20. I multiplied them, I got 200. Then I call this set method, I say j equal to 30 over here, and then when I call this get method, I get 10 into 30 equal to 300. So what am I doing over here? I am changing the value of j. All right, so I am changing the value of j inside a method that I declared as a const. Okay, and I am not getting any error. Why am I not getting any error? Because I declared j as mutable. All right, the word immutable means that something that does not change. All right, the word mutable means something that changes. So when I declare j as mutable, that means I can change it in places where I am not able to change my normal variables. I am not able to change I inside set. So if I try to update the value of I inside my set method, I will get an error. But this is because I is a normal variable. It is immutable. All right. It is immutable inside this method. This is a constant method. This is not going to change the data of my object. All right, but j is a mutable variable. All right, j is a mutable data attribute, and therefore in this method that is not going to change all this data attribute. Although I am not going to change any other data attribute, I can change the mutable data attribute inside this method. All right, so this is what it is. Okay, so if I compile now, I am not going to get any error. All right, and everything is going to happen properly. And if I declare this as const and I compile, once again everything is going to happen as before, right, without any error. Why am I not getting any error? Why am I able to change the value of j although my object is constant, although the method that I have called, those are constant? All right, so why am I still able to update? Because I said that although my object is constant, all right, although my object is immutable, but this object contains a data attribute. This object contains this data attribute j that is mutable. Therefore, although I cannot change the value of any other data attribute, I can change the value of j. All right, so this is what mutability and immutability means in the context of const and in the context of const in and classes. Alright, so these are all the topics related to these two keywords, final and const. Alright, so these are two primary. Final is not a keyword. Okay, so final is a specifier, and this const keyword. Alright, so these are all the topics for this video. In the next video, we are going to look at one more keyword, that is static. Alright, so I hope everything in this video made sense. So final, let us try to recall. We saw final with methods in a class. Alright, so a method that is declared, a virtual method that is declared as final in a class, cannot be overridden by a derived class. Then we saw what is a final class. A final class cannot be inherited. No one can derive from a final class. Then we saw const. Alright, we saw what is a constant data type. So a constant data type cannot be changed once I declare it. I cannot change it. Alright, so after looking at that, we saw pointer to const. So we saw two types in that. Alright, we saw what would happen if my const keyword is to the left of the star. In that case, I cannot change the value that the pointer is pointing to. Alright, and I can change the address that the pointer is pointing to. Alright, then I move this const keyword to the right of the star. At that time, what happened? I can now change the value that the pointer is pointing to, but I cannot change the address that the pointer is pointing to. Alright, then what did I do? I wrote const both to the left and the right of the star. At that time, I could neither change the value that the pointer is pointing to, nor could I change the address that the pointer is pointing to. Alright, so those are the things that happen. Then we saw const in the context of parameter of a method. What would happen if I have const as parameter? If I take const as parameter, then I would not be able to change the value of whatever parameter is declared as const inside the method or the function. Alright, and then we talked about what would happen if I declare a data attribute in a class as const. Then I cannot change the value of that data attribute. So to initialize that, I will use initializer list like I have done here. Alright, so this is possible. So I call this once when I run the constructor, and when creating the object, when running the constructor, when I create the object, the constructor is going to be automatically run. The method that is declared as constructor is going to be automatically run. And at that time, when I create the object, at that time, this const are going, this variable that is declared as const are going to be initialized. And that is the only time when I can set the value of const data attribute in a class. Alright, once that is done, I can no longer set the value of const, but I can read it. That is not a problem. Then we saw what const in the context of methods of a class means. So when I declare this method as const, that means I am not going to change any data attribute inside this method. Alright, but then we saw a cheat. Alright, although this method is declared as const, I could change a data attribute. What data attribute could I change? The one that is declared as mutable. Alright, we saw that. And then we saw what it means to declare an object as a const. Alright, if I declare an object as a const, then I cannot change the object anymore. I cannot change any data attribute of the object. Alright, except the mutable data attribute. I can set, I can change the mutable data attribute. Alright, we saw this with these data attributes that were public. Alright, and if I make them private, still everything is going to hold. Alright, so public and private is not important in the context of what we are discussing. So the meaning of public and private, that stays the same. Alright, so don't worry about that. Don't mix these two. Public and private access specifier in its own place, The things that we are studying today are in their own place. Alright, so these are the contents for today's video. We will discuss all of these using pen and paper one or two videos down the line. Alright, if you have any doubt, feel free to reach out to me through WhatsApp, by mail, or by writing your doubts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next video.